So I went to university originally to natural sciences, actually, and it was at Cambridge, and they had Saturday morning lectures, and I had no interest in doing lectures on a Saturday morning. So I transferred to economics. And then halfway through my second year, I realized that I didn't want to go to banking or the city or accountancy. I wanted a creative job. So I did a university training, television training, sort of evening school type thing for 6 nights. I remember 6 Wednesday nights, which I really enjoyed. Studio directing. I did university radio, broadcasting to precisely 0 people. I know that because I was offering £100 prizes for questions like, what's the name of the capital of England, sort of thing. I did student journalism, and I really enjoyed it. So I thought, yeah, this is what I want to do for my career. And when I graduated, that was, my focus was trying to get into television.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And how did you go about that? Did you do any kind of work experience, or did you just kind of graduate and then just get stuck in with job hunting?
So after graduating, I went to America for 3 months, and I worked as a market researcher. I did an internship also for WGBH in Boston, Massachusetts. I got more of a taste for television then. And then I came back and I sort of naively thought, I'll go straight to a job in television. And I sent letters out, because the days of sending letters. In fact, this is what I used to write my letters. It was that long ago. I used acrylic and ink and parchment. No emails in those days. And I sent letters out, got nowhere. And then I was in the Cambridge University Careers Office, and they just happened to mention that Yorkshire Television that morning had called looking for applicants for a researcher position in the science department there at Yorkshire Television. And I'm from Yorkshire, I'm Bridlington, which is on the East Yorkshire coast. And so I applied for the job. And I was really sort of the last stages, really. I was about to give up on television and go into market research, even though I really wanted to get to television. I applied for the job. I got the interview, but I wrote down the wrong address for the interview. So I was late. So I thought I'd blown it.
Oh, no. So
I went in there and I just told a few jokes and a few anecdotes about America and traveling around the States the previous summer. And it was that kind of separated me from the 85 Oxbridge graduates for that one job. And I really bonded with the interviewer, and that's what got me in, and the rest is history.
Amazing. So that's really cool. So what would your advice be for students who are trying to get work placements, in the kind of film and TV industries at the moment? What are kind of your biggest tips for just making that initial connection?
It's very hard to get into creative industries, particularly television, radio, journalism, online media, because so many students want to get in. And there's so many excellent media studies courses around Britain producing highly talented students, and there's only a limited number of jobs. The key thing is to have a great CV and to spend your time at university boosting your CV, like my son did. He went to Loughborough. He spent a lot of time making web videos for the basketball team and the badminton team and the rugby team. So he made loads of videos and boosted his CV and made lots of contacts. And that's what you need to be doing whilst at university, using it really productively to give yourself the best chance when you're graduating of having a really good CV and a really good introduction email, and send lots and lots of emails out in the hope that just one email happens to land in the right inbox at the right time. And you get the interview, and then you go in, you have a good job interview technique, which comes with practice, because these are essential skills these days to avoid going down career cul-de-sacs and spending a lot of time trying to get jobs and just not quite getting there all the time. So you need to be resilient, not take no for an answer, and work very hard to make your own luck, which is a great CV, a great introductory email, and good job interview technique.
Mm-hmm. And how would you recommend the best way is to go about networking in the industry as well? I hear a lot of people talking about using LinkedIn a lot. So yeah, would you recommend LinkedIn and then any other kind of platforms to do that?
I'm a great fan of platforms like LinkedIn. I mean, Facebook's great, Insta is great, all those, and I've got a presence on those. My handle, if you call it that, is at Direct Productions UK, and I work hard on my social media, media tips and blogs and job opportunities and WorkX opportunities. But LinkedIn is my favorite because you can focus it down to your particular career. So I've sent loads of contact requests out to production managers and executive producers to make contacts in the television industry. And I've also sent loads of contact requests out to academics in media studies and media studies students to boost contacts in that side of things. So I do training courses for academics and media studies students. And LinkedIn is great for that. And the other thing is that LinkedIn has this special package. You can loads of in-mails, they're called, to people. Now, I wouldn't recommend anybody spends £50 a month, but what you can do is get a free month before the £50 kicks in. So my suggestion is go for the £50 package, but the free month. But that's the way to push your contacts. And a few of those may accept your contact request. And then you've got a few contacts you start sending emails to, CVs to, and that just might help you get a foothold in the industry.
Yeah, brilliant. So can I ask, so once you started working in the industry, what would you say were your biggest sort of learning curves? Like, what were the main things you learned that were kind of different from the university kind of environment, really?
When I first started in television back in 1988, so long ago, everything was in black and white, basically, even day-to-day life. I'm joking about that, but it was a long time ago. And it was very interesting because I came straight pretty much from university into television. And my first boss was really collegiate. He invited opinions. He invited criticism almost. He fast-tracked me into producing programs in a year of joining York's Television, which was pretty much unheard of. And so he was really much open to me being opinionated and ambitious. And then I moved to another department, the documentaries department at York's Television, which was a really prestigious department. And I carried on that mentality. And that ruffled a few feathers because they were a bit more kind of earn your spurs. You shouldn't be so opinionated. You need to earn the right for an opinion. And one of the suggestions I would give to students is try and gauge the atmosphere, try and gauge the office, get a sense of whether they want you to come up with lots of ideas or not, or really they want you to sort of, bide your time, earn the credit if you like, and work your way up to that position. So it really is being a chameleon and adapting to the environment and the sort of the vibe of the office, if you like. The other advice I'd give to youngsters coming into any industry is be sociable. Ultimately, it's the likable people that do best. It's what you know, it's who you know, and it's being likable. And if you go to the pub after work, if you go for cigarette breaks, I wouldn't suggest you smoke if you don't smoke because it's very, very bad for you. If you do go for cigarette breaks and chat to people, get to know people, make lots of cups of tea. If you're really shy and you're a shrinking violet, it'll be harder for you to progress because you won't get to know what the opportunities are. You won't have as many contacts to give you a heads up on when the next jobs are coming up. So you do need to make an effort in that regard.
Mm-hmm. And is there anything you wish you'd known about the industry while you were at university?
When I was at university, there were very few media studies courses, to be honest. There were a few journalism courses, one at Cardiff, one in London, communication courses. But, I did economics university. Most of the people I went to television around that time did history or English. They didn't do a media-related course. Talk a few years back to Brighton students. And I said, the fact of the matter is, you won't all get into television. And this poor lad's face dropped on the front row. And it was like, what, even if you pass all our exams? Correct. Even if you pass your exams, it doesn't automatically entitle you into a job in television. And that's a real shock for us students, especially spending £9,000 a year on a media studies course. Yeah. And the big shock really is that up until university, your lives are neatly mapped out, if you like. I mean, everyone has their challenges and their troubles, but fundamentally, it goes primary school, secondary school, sixth form, university. You're on train tracks, you know where you're going. It goes kiddie exams, it goes GCSEs, it goes A-levels, it goes degree. Again, you're on train tracks, you know where you're going. But then you graduate and suddenly you have to seize your own destiny. You have to achieve your own dreams. It's all down to you. You may get help from careers officers, you may get help from various contacts, but it's down to you, and that's a hell of a shock. It's also extremely exciting in that if you do find a job you love, then you'll never do a day's work in your life. But it is down to you and your resilience and you make your own luck and how much you've organized your life before that point to have a great CV and have the skills you need to get those crucial few jobs that are available.
Yeah, absolutely. So you run your own business now, don't you? Could you tell us a little bit more about what your current role is and describe sort of a typical working week for you?
I mean, students graduating now must get their heads around the fact that they probably won't go straight to a full-time television career. They might have to spend some time doing, say, video design, website design, or online videos, or even jobs in bar work or waitering or waitressing. The best training I ever had for being a researcher in television was working behind a bar for 2 summers to talk to people. So don't think that if you are working in retail or in those sort of jobs, it's necessarily bad, because you do learn these people skills. So it's hard to get in. And I've got a portfolio career in that I've spent the last 15 years or so making telly programs for BBC, ITV, Channel 4, 5, Discovery Channel, etc., but also doing training courses. I've been training courses in how to get into television, in directing skills, research skills, editing skills, etc. And then early this year, when the global apocalypse happened, I realized that I had to change my training regime, adapt and survive. And I started doing training courses via Zoom. So I work from home 3 or 4 days a week, training students in how to get into the media industries, job interview techniques, CV finessing, running skills, research skills. I also train academics in how to do online lectures, web videos and interviews for broadcast, and business men and women, lawyers, in those crucial skills now, because we're increasingly living our lives in boxes through Zoom or Microsoft Teams. And effectively, we're all TV presenters now. And if we don't come across well in these little boxes, it affects badly on our brand, be it personal brand, our business, our faculty, our industry. So it's really, really important people have got good presentation skills when, dealing with other colleagues or doing presentations for their work or lecturing or trying to pitch ideas. And that's what I'm focusing on at the moment. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, that sounds great. So what would you say are the staple characteristics and skills that someone would need to have in order to stand that better chance of making it in the film industry?
The main attributes anyone, in my opinion, needs to make it in any industry is passion and a genuine interest in that industry, because passion is infectious and engaging. And that's particularly apparent in doing interviews via Zoom or Microsoft Teams or any of these platforms. Why are television presenters always passionate and upbeat and positive? Because it reflects well down a bit of glass, down a bit of plastic that is the lens. Equally, if you want to get a job these days, or indeed any day, I'd say, you need to be positive about it and passionate about it and really care about it. So anybody that wants to get to television that doesn't watch a lot of television, that hasn't done YouTube videos, that hasn't done student television, that hasn't done all these things, which indicates they've got a genuine passion for it and really care about it and want to tell stories, then that's worrying. And it's also self-defeating, because ultimately other people going for those jobs do have those things on their CVs, do have that passion, and do get those jobs.
Yeah. So you would recommend doing kind of your own side projects alongside your university sort of studies and things in order to kind of branch out and really broaden out your portfolio?
It's really important that people have their own YouTube channels and make an effort to learn how to shoot, learn how to edit, and indeed broadcast, which you do on YouTube or Insta or these other video platforms these days. The number of reasons for doing that. One is you learn those skills under pressure, which is the best way to learn skills. The second is it looks great on your CV that you've done these things. No one's going to watch them because we're not hiring you and no likelihood to make direct and shoot stuff at that stage, but it shows a genuine interest. And it's good to mention in job interviews, but most importantly is it gives you a taste for what it's like to create something and broadcast something, and whether it really is your kettle of fish. Best case scenario is you can monetize it. So somebody came on my course a few weeks ago and they're into ballet. She's a great ballet dancer. And I said, well, why not do ballet tutorials for youngsters, for kids? It's ideal for lockdown and school holidays, sort of posh parents can shove Tarquin or Imelda in front of a screen and leave them for 10 minutes to learn some ballet. So best case scenario is you can be like the PE guy in PE Joe, I think he's called, or whatever, in London, who's made money out of it. But worst case scenario is you get something to mention, for your CV and job interviews, and it looks great for you. Another person came on my courses and was into an author in Kenya. She was at an English university and she's a mad fan of this author in Kenya. So I said, well, why not try and track the author down, film the process, try and find this author so you can interview them on Zoom for a university website or your YouTube channel. So you'd film yourself calling the publisher, calling the agent of the author, trying to build some jeopardy up there. And that's great experience because you're telling a story with a beginning, middle, and end. The beginning is you're desperate to find this author and why. The middle is the process, the journey, you try to track it down. Hopefully the end is you finding this author, you're doing an interview with her, telling her that you love her work, and you've got a nice resolution there. And if it works, you get some viewers on YouTube, then do another author, and it become a little sort of theme, a little strand, a little channel for you. So you need to be proactive. You need to be doing things like that, because employers, potential employers, really love that kind of thing.
And I don't know if you would, if you got any advice, I guess, for companies who are looking to work with creative interns and juniors for the first time?
I think one of the best pieces of advice I was given when recruiting people is don't try and recruit a clone of yourself. A variety in an office is really good in terms of approaches, talents, sex, sexualities. The more variety you have, the more creative synergy is often created. And I think early doors, when I was first interviewing people and recruiting people, I would generally try and find people who are a bit like me, very, Stakhanovite, hardworking, focused, sort of Libra, I don't know, fitting all my kind of stereotypes, if you like. But in fact, I've often worked best with people who kind of are different to me and bring different dynamics to the group. So that's some advice I can potentially give to other people recruiting, and that is try and find a blend of talents to build your team up rather than having a sort of monotheic approach.
Brilliant. So I guess the last question would be, what would you say to students right now with the current situation going on? What are the best things they can be doing with their time right now for when hopefully this is all over and things return to a little bit more normality?
My heart goes out to students at the moment. They've had a nightmare year with COVID, the A-levels fiasco, the going back to university and potentially being under room arrest university, Love Island being cancelled. I mean, what a nightmare year youngsters have had. The thing to remember is that, through adversity comes strength. You do need to adapt and survive. And there are things you can be doing now to boost your chances of success when it comes to job hunting next summer. You've got some time. So build up your contact base, get on LinkedIn, send lots of contact requests out, watch the credits of programs, look out for production managers, producers, all these folks that help you get work. Track them down via their email addresses. BBC email addresses at firstname.secondname@bbc.co.uk. The last credit of a program is a production company that makes that program. So you see the production company, you go to their website, you track folks down, you send emails, send CVs. These are all things you've been doing right now to boost your chances of achieving your dreams next summer. Work on your CV now. Do student television. Think about the other people in your year that are going to make it in television and make sure you're sociable with them. Make sure you keep them sweet because they might be good contacts in years to come. Set up your own YouTube channel. Be doing stuff outside university. There's loads of things you can do now to boost your CV that you need to be doing now, to be honest, because you're a precious breathing space now. And if you are under room arrest, then make a video about it. Make something, I don't know, learn how to do magic. I don't know. There's all kinds of things you've been doing now to kind of have a bit of fun, even though you're in very difficult circumstances, to again prove to employers your resilience next summer. So next summer, when it comes to job interviews, you go into an interview and you say, well, admittedly, I was stuck in my bedsit for 3 months, but I did this, that, and the other. They're going to like it. If you go in and say, well, I was like everybody else, I couldn't do anything. I was, hit by the COVID pandemic and I just sat around watching daytime telly all the time, then that's not as good. So it's really important that you try and use this time as effectively as possible. And then next summer, you'll be in a good position to potentially get great work.
Brilliant. Oh, thank you so much. And what's the address that people can go to if they want to sign up to one of your courses?
So I do training courses in how to get into television, the creative industries, and I talk about CV finessing, because media CVs are very different to ordinary world CVs, how you format them, what you put into them. For example, education is right at the bottom and work experience is right at the top. And real jobs are even higher up than that. So I do that. I do email introductions, how to write the email properly. I do how to generate contacts, job interview technique and running skills and research skills. And if people want to know more about that, the simplest thing is to go to my website, which is www.directproductions.co.uk. Follow me on social media, which is @directproductionsuk. I'm on LinkedIn and Insta and Reddit and Tumblr and Facebook. I'm not on Grindr anymore because that's not dating for grandparents. I got that badly wrong. I also do training for academics and business people and lawyers in how to come across well on Zoom and Microsoft Teams, which you need to do these days. They're essential life skills these days. And I do training in how to do lectures as well online, presentations. And again, that's my email address, which is juliandismore@gmail.com. Dismore as in Dismore to meter meets DI. juliandismore@gmail.com, or go to my website, which is www.directproductions.co.uk.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.